Actually, part of the reason why I named my company Column is because content is the column that the entire business is built on, right? It's the main pillar. So we've talked about marketing and blog posts, emails, thought leadership, white papers, press releases, social media, podcast, research. But sales is also content, right? Outbound emails, pitch decks, that's all content. What you say on phone calls, what you put in proposals, that's content. If it's not good content, you're not going to convert anything, right? Engineering and product, they do product documentation. They have user onboarding sequences in their apps. They need to put together development processes, especially to align everyone in async environments. Your finance and investor relations function is all content, right? The best story wins for fundraising. You need to be really good at storytelling. That's content. Your quarterly board meetings, what do you tell the board? Your analyst calls, what do you tell them? That's all content, right? And coming into HR, so 75% of job seekers consider your brand before applying for a job at your company, right? That's literally 3/4 of all job seekers will consider your brand before applying for a job. Now, if you're a visible company leader, especially a visible HR leader, you've got a far better chance to sway candidates to you, right? So if you think about and the typical candidate journey, the first interaction a candidate has with your company is most likely going to be the job ad. A job ad is just content, right? You're telling them what they can expect, how they're going to contribute, how you're going to value them, what chances of promotions or advancement they've got in the company. But top candidates aren't going to just read that and stop there, right? They're going to do their research. They're going to go on LinkedIn. They're going to look at what your people are saying about the company and about the work that they're doing, right? So savvy candidates don't believe your job ad wording about your perfect culture or how you're a family. Okay, they're going to do their research. Now, if you're an invisible HR leader, especially, right, or an invisible hiring manager, you barely post content, your presence on LinkedIn is sporadic, you're leaving a lot to the imagination, which isn't always a good thing, especially if you don't have a strong employer brand. So without your perspective as an HR leader or as a hiring manager, the only thing left for this top candidates to base their decision on is your Glassdoor reviews and messages on the Blind app, which is not something you can control, right? So HR content strategy is about controlling the narrative in a way. How do you present the company to top job candidates in the field? And there's many benefits to this, right? You can build your employer brand equity. You can hire faster with fewer resources because now you're attracting them to you. It's more inbound rather than outbound recruitment. You can perform employee training faster because you've got better content for onboarding. You can communicate your company values more effectively. You can boost team morale and improve retention. You can showcase your internal work environment. So something as simple as a video of your team working together or at an offsite or at a team building event. This is all content. And this stuff might seem frivolous, but this is what top candidates are basing their decisions on. They don't know what it's like to work at your company. So your content is the only thing they have to go on. Well, that and your financials and the news and the press and all that stuff. But all of that is content in its own way. So you can communicate critical research findings to your network through content. Say, for example, you just discovered that 40% of the American workforce, I'm just making this number up, but let's say you discover that 40% of the American workforce is now working parents. As an HR leader or as a hiring manager, you can kind of talk about what does that mean for your company? How are you guys adapting to that? What affordances and benefits and just perks are you giving to young parents in your company? Because you don't know whether the top candidates in your industry are themselves either young parents or thinking about becoming parents. So they want to know, how do you think about this stuff? So HR content strategy, it lets you marinate the best in your industry long before you ever post your first job ad.